Hello everybody, this is the Rabid Hedgehog, and this is my review of the 2016 Indian Springfield motorcycle. It is a brand new for 2016 bike. It is a bagger. It is more of a simple type bagger, kind of like your Harley Davidson Road King, where it just has a quick release windshield and then quick release hard saddlebags on the back. This particular bike comes in at a $21,000 549 MSRP. This particular bike has the Thunderstroke 111, just like most of your bigger Indian cruisers. Air-cooled, but still a fantastic engine. This has got to be one of the best V-twins out there, and I've said that a lot about Indian. I really love the Thunderstroke engine. Whenever it comes to the controls, it's pretty simple. In typical Indian, you got your basically remote keyless start button there on the gas tank, and then on the right side over here, you have your typical controls. You got start, stop switch, and your cruise control activation and everything, and then you've got your start button and hazard switch over there on the left side. Bright on, off, horn, and also turn signal. Self-canceling on Indians, so you just tap it once, but if you need it, you just push it in just like you would on your typical motorcycle. This is a 6-speed transmission on the Springfield here. And this is a very good motorcycle. I mean, this is very comfortable. This particular one comes with ABS and cruise control, keyless ignition, has the TPMS system, has that hard saddlebag with the remote lock and release, the quick release windshield, trunk compatible chassis, so you can add that trunk. It does have passenger adjustable floorboards, and that's it. Now on the Indians, you do have on the left side as well a driver information center where you can go through and look at the ambient temperature. You can look at your voltage, how many miles per gallon you're getting, what your current range is in the fuel tank, and then you've got a few other things here like your front tire pressure and your rear tire pressure as well, and your odometer and your trip odometer. So quite a bit of information there. Your fuel gauge is up here at the top, but you just got your pretty much standard affair inside the speedometer housing here. This one has a hazard light, TPMS light, neutral indication. Then it has bright on, off, and then of course it's got your light signals and what they're doing. ABS light, because this bike does have the ABS, and also service engine light. For a big giant bagger, this thing turns really well. I like this bike a lot. It's much more comfortable than a Harley Davidson. That's not a lie. I mean, this thing has some really good suspension travel, and I really need to look that up and see what that is. Really good suspension travel, and this thing just kind of wandered up to 70 without even me realizing it when we got on the highway, because it just doesn't, I mean, it doesn't, it's just so smooth. I mean, it doesn't like announce itself by coming on. It just kind of gets there, and it's wonderful. I mean, this bike feels extremely planted on the ground. The seat is super comfortable. Unfortunately, my wife is not feeling well today, or she'd be testing out the back like she always does, since this does have the 2-up position. It doesn't have, like I said, the trunk on it. This one in particular has the saddle, or the sissy bar on the back of it, so that way a passenger can ride on it comfortably. This thing is very comfortable for the rider. I mean, this is awesome. It is a floorboard bike. It has a big giant brake pedal on the right side, and you know, you don't miss that thing. And it's also got a very long shift lever on the left, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I'd rather have kind of a heel toe on one of these bikes. That's just my preference, but it still works very well because you have enough room for very large feet, and that's something I always talk about is, yes, I have extremely large feet, so I kind of have to have that room, and I'm happy to have it. This thing is just wonderful. So smooth. The windshield provides very adequate wind protection. It's a very wide windshield, as you can see. I'm not really feeling any wind until just about my elbows. And when it comes to the helmet, I'm not getting any buffeting at all, despite it being shorter than my helmet. I mean, this thing is doing really well. Like I said, this is a new for 2016 bike, and it does feature an aluminum frame. I'll put the statistics in the description there, like the weight and the saddle height and things like that. But I mean, it is a shorter bike. I mean, you could flat foot this bike real easily. It feels so planted. I know it's near 800 pounds, maybe a little above, but it feels so balanced that you can just sit at a stop sign or stoplight one-footed indefinitely and not feel overtaxed. I mean, this thing feels great, very well balanced. And this is kind of what I've been saying. I like Indian. I mean, over their Victory counterparts, Victory tends to, I don't know, Victory just seems cheap. I mean, a lot of people have dogged me for the vision and stuff like that, and I accept the criticism, and I'm going to give that bike a second chance. But I mean, when you ride the stablemates from Indian, I mean, there's a night and day difference in the terms of quality and how these bikes are put together, like the fit and finish. I mean, this thing is tightened and buttoned up. And I've got some pictures of some Indian switchgear and also the Harley and the Victory that I'll post in a later video to explain why I don't particularly like Victory and their fit and finish, and why I think they need to try to emulate Indian as best possible, because this is another first-year bike just like that Scout was. And the old Scout, was a great bike for its first year. It was well put together. This one is as well. I know it was built kind of off an existing chassis, but I mean, this thing is tight. I mean, this thing is a well-rounded machine. And up at the front, if you can see this button, that's for the fog lamps. It's just on the inside there of the forks there. Kind of forgot to mention that control. But this bike, I mean, on the highway, you could cruise all dadgum day long. It's just south of the Goldwing in comfort. I mean, the Goldwing is a little bit smoother in terms of the ride, and that's where that wins, is that engine and that bike is so smooth, there's no vibrations at all. This one's got a little bit of soul and some vibration, which doesn't hurt it for me at all. This bike is just as good. And I mean, you're paying, just a little bit south of Goldwing money too, if you're getting one of the more higher end Goldwings at $21,549 for this bike. So this bike would be a definite buy for the Rabid Hedgehog. I mean, I always look for a good bike, especially in the future when I want a big touring type bike. This one, I mean, has the hard saddlebags, and this one, they're also quick removable too if you want to strip it down. And of course, it's got the quick release windshield. I mean, it's not as big and as frilly as some of the others with full dressing and full fairings and radios and stuff like that. I don't really like all of that. I just don't see a purpose to that sometimes when I'm riding. I would rather have a nice bike that can carry me a long distance in comfort and quality and enjoy it. Oh, this thing sounds great too. This thing just sounds wonderful. And it's a stock pipe. I mean, it's baffled a little bit. If I could imagine just taking those out and how wonderful and loud this thing will be. This thing will have a nice, mean growl. Very smooth, very, very smooth. I'll get to the braking here in a moment. I've been using it, but not very hard. So I'll get to the engine braking here in just a moment. If it's like the other Indians, it's going to be very good engine braking for the 111. So I'll check that out here. There's a stop coming up over this hill. But the braking, I mean, the braking is very good on this bike. I mean, it's very smooth. Being that it's ABS, you have that added safety in there as well. It's not a linked system, so you don't slap on one pedal and both of them activate. It's not like that. It's just a simple system. But, it's still very adequate braking for such a big girl. Oh yeah, engine braking's just fine. Just what I was expecting. Had a little bit of a chirp there, but not too bad. In fact, I can stop this thing with the engine brake alone. I don't even need the brakes. I'm not even touching them right now. Oh yeah, definitely could stop this thing with just the engine braking alone. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to really try the brakes out, but that's actually a good thing. You don't want to just try the brakes out. It means something wrong is happening. Oh, this thing just is wonderful. All through the rev range, this 111 is. That's what I like about it. Just fantastic balanced engine. It's not like Harley where it's low range only. It's not like Victory where it's high range only. It's got that perfect center balance. It's just a fine engine. Fantastic transmission too. This thing shifts in and out just fine. I mean, it's well put together. I didn't get to check the cruise control out, but I know how these work. They work very well. Really easy to operate. You just simply press that button in there. You get an indication that it's ready. And then you go ahead and you, there we go, now it's got that indication. Then you go ahead and hit the set, and now you're in cruise control. Now you can just cruise around. It's just fantastic. I mean, this bike is one-handable. I mean, this thing is not a handful at all. This thing is just smooth as butter. Like I said, just south of the Goldwing. Almost there. Like I said, the suspension on this bike is really compliant. Unlike the Harley, which has the choppy, bouncy, throws you out of your saddle kind of hardness, this one takes those bumps extremely well. Very competent bike. I mean, this one, like I said, you can take it all day long. You have really good suspension travel. I'll try to find what it is, but if you hit these broken bumps, you just don't feel them. It just absorbs really well. There, I kind of dipped the brakes there. They're really good binders. Everything about this bike is really good. Good job, but once again, good job, Indy. And every time I ride your first year bikes, I'm so impressed at how well these things are put together. Every time, you guys, you do a great job with these. And like I said, I wish you'd carry this over to your Victory line. That way we can have 3 great American motorcycles. That's always what I want. That's you know, we can have our brands. Japan has their 4 brands. We need our 3. You know, I wish we could get Buellback, maybe get a 4th, but you know, this is a great bike, and like I said, I have nothing but praise for it. I can't find anything wrong. I simply can't. I mean, look how easy this thing. You just barely put any effort into the bars. The thing just twists and turns and ready to go. This thing is just a great bike. So, at any rate, like I said, Rabid Hedgehog approved bike. If you have any questions about the 2016 Indy in Springfield, you can put them down in the comments below, and I'll be happy to get back with you as soon as I get a chance to look at it. I'll put the rest of the bike's features and stuff like that in the description below, so that way you guys can catch how much it weighs and everything like that. Like I said, you'll be totally shocked at how little this thing feels like it weighs a lot. You know, this thing just feels great. Anyway, have a great one, folks. We'll catch you on the flip side on the next review.